And today we're focusing on the transformative potential of generative AI for businesses, particularly within the Canadian context.
Some very interesting studies that have just come out highlights that we're going to see almost a 68% year-over-year increase in terms of AI adoption by small and medium businesses.
Addressing this innovation gap is so crucial for Canada's economic future, and I think that kind of strategic analysis is very, very important.
Cybersecurity is an absolute imperative for all businesses and critically for our small and medium businesses because traditionally they've not invested in this. And it is heartbreaking when I engage with some of our customers and they tell me that they're thinking about security because they've got an antivirus.
Listeners, if you're ready to embrace the transformative power of AI, then remember that strategic adoption is key to unlocking the benefits and staying competitive. Hi everyone, this is Maheen and welcome to the CanadianSME Small Business Podcast, where we explore the strategies and technologies that empower Canadian businesses to thrive. And today we're focusing on the transformative potential of generative AI for businesses, particularly within the Canadian context. Now, recent trends highlight the importance of AI adoption for maintaining competitiveness and driving innovation, and this discussion will provide valuable insights into how businesses can leverage AI effectively and overcome adoption challenges. Now, joining us today are Lissa Matyas, the VP of Capacity Building and Innovation at ICTC, a national center of expertise dedicated to strengthening Canada's digital advantage, and Kree Govender, the Microsoft Canada's SMB area leader. Together, they bring a wealth of knowledge and a collaborative perspective on the future of AI. So, without further ado, let's welcome them, where we will discuss why generative AI matters for business leaders, the Generative AI for Business Leaders initiative, and the call to action for listeners to engage with ICTC and Microsoft resources. So without further ado, let's get started. Welcome, Lisa and Kree. Kree, we're having you for the second time, so it's a great pleasure for both of you to come together this time. And we're very pleased to have you with us. How are you?
Great, thanks. How are you?
Very well, thank you.
Amazing. So good to be back here in the studio with you both.
Of course. Thank you so much to both of you. I mean, Lisa and Kree, your work at ICTC and, of course, Microsoft is crucial for helping businesses navigate the AI landscape. And we would love to kind of start by exploring why Gen AI is so important for business leaders. I think I might have just said it too many times in my intro, but it is important. So, Kree, let's start with you. How fast is AI catching on globally, and what are you seeing in your community and your day to day life regarding the use of AI to transform the nature of work or the success of a business?
Some very interesting studies that have just come out highlights that we're going to see almost a 68% year-over-year increase in terms of AI adoption by small and medium businesses. This speaks to not just the adoption, but rather the value that these businesses are deriving
Right.
from AI and generative AI technologies. It served as a force multiplier for so many of these small businesses, giving them access to abilities and tools and expertise through these platforms that they otherwise would never have had the financial ability to deliver for themselves. It really is a leveler in many ways and helps them compete in various different markets.
Right. Well, that's a very insightful overview of the global and local impact of AI. And it's clear that this technology is rapidly reshaping how we work and how we do business. Now, I think that kind of perspective is very valuable. But building on the importance of AI, let's kind of explore the specific challenges and the opportunities for Canadian businesses. While Canadian companies have made, strides, there are still challenges in fully embracing innovation and really investing into the R&D. Understanding these gaps is key to improving the competitiveness and the ensuring the long-term prosperity for all Canadians. Why do Canadian companies tend to underperform in terms of innovation and investment in R&D and compared to, let's say, their international peers, and how does this affect Canadians' standard of living?
Yeah, thank you for that really important question. Um, Canada's uniquely positioned because we are relatively small population distributed across the US border, basically, in a very large country. And 98% of our companies are small and medium-sized businesses. So it doesn't always make financial sense to invest in R&D when a commercialization activity might take up to 10 years to actually benefit from. And it's very hard for our venture capital community, our banking systems to invest in a knowledge-based economy. And so a lot of companies right now, especially given a lot of headwinds, are just trying to keep the lights on. And so investing in R&D has been out of reach for a lot of SMEs until now, where I think, as Kree very rightly pointed out, generative AI and adopting other emerging technologies could completely transform their business and allow them to be globally competitive without depending. Historically, Canada's had a huge dependence on our natural resources and, drilling and cutting lumber. And, it just was very easy for us to continue to keep our economy prosperous based on natural resources. But I think transitioning to a knowledge-based economy will not happen in Canada without us being more open to AI adoption and really accelerating that through programs like the one that ICTC has with Microsoft.
Right. No, thank you so much for highlighting that. And I'm glad that we were able to bring this up because addressing this innovation gap is so crucial for Canada's economic future. And I think that kind of strategic analysis is very, very important. Listeners, if you're ready to embrace the transformative power of AI, then remember that strategic adoption is key to unlocking the benefits and staying competitive. Now let's get back to our conversation with Lissa and Kree and explore the Gen AI for Business Leaders initiative. Now let's shift our focus to the collaborative initiative designed to support businesses in their AI journey because AI adoption has been slow for Canadian SMBs, but with the right support and strategies, businesses can stay competitive and, of course, they can thrive in this, changing market. Now, Kree and Lissa, why has AI adoption been slow in the Canadian SMB space in the first place, and how can we change that national trend?
Well, there are a few reasons from what I see as the lived experience being out there with our customers and our partners. The first is there's a plethora of solutions that are now available. And like anything, when you enter a restaurant with an extensive menu, you are sometimes spoilt for choice.
Right.
And unfortunately, for many businesses, this creates paralysis because they're trying to evaluate, is this the right solution, and one that, number one, won't expose my data and use this to train the model? Will they be around in a year from now? This is a point where Microsoft really excels, having a breadth of offerings, having the ability to stay the course and ensure that customers' data will always remain private and confidential, and we will never use your data to train our models. So one is choice. The other is then finding the correct use case for the application of this technology.
Right.
The truth is that the current generative AI tools that we find at scale are there around personal productivity. That's now become table stakes. Many businesses who are now looking to differentiate are thinking about what are those use cases that I can genuinely unlock that helps me see a version of my business and the things that differentiate me or are creating pain in my business through the lens of AI, be that a niche AI implementation, be it agentive AI, various implementations. And with that, it all starts with education and understanding, which is why the partnership that we have with ICTC is so critical. Through education, the aperture in terms of what's possible is expanded for these businesses. And we've got a fantastic tool, which is a self assessment, which will then guide these businesses towards the use cases for their industry, for their business, and those personas where they can derive the most amount of value.
Right. Oh, that's a very practical approach. Lisa, do you want to add something to that?
I just wanted to add that it is a real shame that Canada is so far behind, and that's why we're really excited about this partnership because Canada was the first country in the world to develop an AI strategy. We have the best AI researchers in the world in Canada, really paving, the way for the AI sector completely globally. But I think Canadian companies, because there's so many SMBs, have been more conservative. As Kree said, we are spoiled for choice in terms of different solutions, and it's hard for a small company to really understand how does AI apply to my business, and they don't see enough case studies that they really see their own situation reflected in. And so I'm really excited that we're building these case studies, that we're really explaining how specifically an AI application can apply to their sector, to their business, to their particular circumstances. Because otherwise, if you're a busy CEO and you're wearing so many different hats, it's just too much to try and sift through and figure out, what are the opportunities and how can this increase productivity or how can this increase sales or how do I stay relevant, given the fact that everyone else is adopting AI and I might be left behind.
Definitely. No, there's no doubt about that providing such accessible resources and guidance is essential for, really accelerating that AI adoption within the SMBs here. And I think that kind of, collaborative effort is very commendable. AI adoption is definitely a crucial step for Canadian SMBs, and it's great to really hear how accessible resources can make all the difference. So let's take a short break here, and when we return, we'll explore how ICTC supports Canadian businesses beyond just Gen AI and delve into the importance of cybersecurity in the age of AI. Please stay tuned.
Hey, you think you know UPS? Yeah, that's us. Everybody knows that. You know what you didn't know? This. Okay, try to keep up. Ocean, us. Ground, rail, air, so us. Guess who? Us. Customs cleared, borders cleared, done. Us. You still with me? Wait for it. Boom. Us. Intelligent, automated, fulfillment. Us. Yep. Healthcare too. Digital your thing? Yeah. Well, book it, ship it, track it. You feeling me yet? Yep. That's all us. That's all UPS.
At IHG Hotels and Resorts, we're in the business of you.
We're here to help you plug in,
connect and recharge,
make an impression,
and meet with confidence.
With 19 brands built for business,
your business gets even more rewarding.
With an award-winning loyalty program at 6,000 IHG hotels and resorts worldwide.
Welcome back, everyone. We're now going to discuss the broader support of ICTC provides to Canadian businesses, and then we'll shift our focus to the critical topic of cybersecurity in today's AI-driven world. Now, Lisa, let's kind of explore the broader support that ICTC provides to Canadian businesses, because you're offering a range of vital resources to help Canadian SMBs, navigate challenges and seize the opportunities for growth. What other forms of support does ICTC provide to Canadian small to medium-sized businesses beyond the Generative AI initiative?
Thanks for asking. Every year we work with over 4,000 Canadian SMBs, and we try and be as supportive as possible from a wraparound perspective. And so we have long pipelines of building talent for exactly what Canadian SMBs are needing and where the puck is going in the future. So from writing reports on labor market information, forecasting trends in specific sectors and specific regions, to developing the K-12 pipeline of talent and making sure that there's going to be people with the skills and experience that they need to hire, once we're at a different point in terms of Canadian needs in industry. We have subsidies for taking on work integrated learning interns. We have a lot of support in terms of how to understand where your business is going, where your sector is going, and interventions that we can provide in terms of training, but also in terms of teams of people that can come in and do those assessments and build roadmaps. We also have matchmaking with newcomers to Canada. So if you're looking for a mid-career professional that has a little bit more experience than a student, we can actually do that matchmaking and make sure that they have the talent that they need to grow their business.
Wow, now that sounds like a very valuable organization. And you're right, providing a range of support services such as these, they're very crucial for fostering that innovation and growth factor into the market. And I think that kind of comprehensive support is very important. Now, Kree, let's discuss with you the critical aspect of cybersecurity in the age of AI. Because as AI becomes more integrated into business operations, cybersecurity is more critical than ever. And protecting data and systems is so essential to safeguarding, both businesses' integrity and customer trust in this digital age. So, Kree, what does cybersecurity look like for SMBs in this digital age of AI, and what are the key considerations for protecting data and systems?
Maheen, Lisa, this is one of the areas that I'm most excited about of late because cybersecurity is an absolute imperative for all businesses and critically for our small and medium businesses because traditionally they've not invested in this. And it is heartbreaking when I engage with some of our customers and they tell me that they're thinking about security because they've got an antivirus. It is such a low bar to entry. And more often than not, closer to 50%, 50, of these organizations become exposed. And it's not necessarily purely for ransomware. You have threat actors that are now using AI and generative AI technologies to go and attack at scale because that's what it unlocks as well for them. And what do they do when they're in these environments? They sit there and they lurk and they drain IP, sometimes for years. They take your credentials and they use them for malicious transactions. They sometimes sell your information on the dark web. And finally, after they've drained all of that, is when they lock you out of your accounts and hold you for ransom.
Wow.
And here's a horrifying statistic. 70% of SMBs that encounter a cyber incident will never open their doors again. It is a death sentence for most of them. So when we were bringing the promise of AI to the world as responsibly as we could, I'll never forget an address by Satya, and he said, I know you're excited, team, and I'm paraphrasing here, about what AI can do for many of our customers. But understand, our number one priority is ensuring that our customers are brought there safely and securely, leveraging our cybersecurity solutions. That's the imperative right now. Without a strong security posture in place, I would guard against going down this journey. Strong security, strong data posture, those are the foundational components towards walking safely and securely towards an agentic and AI future.
That's a very important consideration. I mean, cybersecurity is paramount in the AI-driven world, and I think that kind of security focus is so very crucial. Now, this has been such an enlightening conversation with the both of you. But because we're short in time, we would like to conclude. Now, Lissa and Kree, let's summarize the key insights for our listeners and provide a call to action. How does a Gen AI, Lissa, for business leaders initiative support businesses with leveraging AI to enhance productivity, security, and more?
I'll let Kree go into a little bit more detail, but the webinars and the resources that we've been provided by Microsoft have been extremely fascinating and enlightening and really changed the way that we work and changed the way that many of our companies that have taken the program are already transforming their business. So I'm really excited to see all of the different applications, and I'm learning so much myself. So I'd love Kree to get into a little bit more detail in terms of breaking down what we've done together.
Yeah, this has been a fantastic partnership. The culmination of this has been wonderful because we're able to reach so many of these businesses at scale. This is really a moment around education. If we tie a thread back to where we started off this conversation, as it relates to the number of tools and things that are out there in the market, this is a one stop shop for small and medium businesses to navigate towards, where they're going to find the information in a very consumable format that we're running through these webinars, as well as digital content, in a very simplified fashion. It's not going to paralyze people. If anything, it's going to empower them to then think about their businesses, their strategy, what the art of the possible looks like. What does an AI future for their business and their customers look like? And then start to walk back with very tactical steps and assessments to help them get to that point. So, to Lissa's point, it will help them with a roadmap. So, we're going to take education, make it very practical, and finally tactical and actionable for these SMBs. Ultimately, that's what we want to do. We don't just want to educate, we want to drive them towards action that their future businesses can look back on and say, wow, aren't we glad that we took those steps? Look at where we are right now. Look at how we're competing and not just surviving, but really thriving in this age.
Wow, that's a great insight. And thank you so much to the both of you for, really highlighting what is out there for the SMBs to take advantage of. Now, Kree, just to add to this a little bit more, what are some most high value Gen AI use cases for SMBs, and what steps should SMBs take as they start their AI journey? Few last key pieces of advices that you can just, share with the listeners.
Right now, the biggest value one is business optimization. And that's really taking tasks that have been legacy, repetitive, and very human centric, taking up a lot of time. I love to think about our offering Copilot being this UI for AI because it's embedded into the applications that we all know and love for such a long time. So your AI journey can begin in the comfort of these applications. So when you're in your email and you need to summarize something, Copilot is there and it presents itself in this very friendly manner towards you. We've got it embedded across the application suite from PowerPoint to Word to Excel, and it connects across this ecosystem, once again, in a very safe and secure manner. Outside of the pure productivity use cases, the next layer down really deals with things like customer service. And we're starting to see how businesses are connecting with their customers through things like voice analysis and replication. So, where you clone a voice and you can connect with someone where you're mirroring whether they're male or female, their accent, whether they're young, middle aged, or elderly, to create deeper resonance for them, both in the sales process as well as the customer service experience process. And then having these agents that are many workers that are sliced out across the business process that can perform discrete functions at scale, really amplifying your ability to reach customers both for acquisition and growth as well as customer service. Those are just some of the highlights. I could go on with many more, but I understand we are pressed for time.
Lissa and Kree, thank you so much for sharing your expertise and your insights with us today. I mean, your collaborative approach and such a practical advice, it's very, very valuable for our listeners today. And we really appreciate your time that you took out to come see us today. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having us, Maheen. It was wonderful.
Thank you
It's been absolutely wonderful to be here, and I get to share this amazing space with you wonderful ladies. Thank you.
Thank you. And that was an insightful conversation with Lissa Matyas, the VP Capacity Building and Innovation at ICTC, and Kree Govender, the Microsoft Canada's SMB area leader, on leveraging Gen AI for business success. Their collaboration provides valuable guidance for Canadian businesses navigating the AI landscape. Again, thank you so much for tuning in to the podcast. We really, really appreciate your continued support. Please be sure to subscribe to our podcast at CanadianSME.ca for more expert guidance and advice. A special thank you to our podcast partners, RBC, UPS, IAG, and Google for their ongoing commitment to empowering SMBs in Canada. Until next time, please keep innovating and striving for success. We'll see you in the next episode.